Greek army, and one of them, the third one, he got like wounded, and we lost track of him for quite a while. And then I had to take off from home and start searching for him in the hospital the surrounding area of Salonika. And of course, now you can imagine a mother missing all her children almost, except my daughter was home. And for a little, for about a week it was, that I was searching for my brother to see where he was. And finally, the war with Italy was over because the German occupied Greece. That was in 1941. And that's when the starvation and of course the occupation of the Germans, we felt it, especially the Jewish people.
How many sisters and brothers did you have?
I had 3 brothers and a sister, 1 sister.
And when were you born?
In 1924.
Was there a large Jewish community in your city?
Yes, Salonika has been known as a matter of fact, they used to call it the Jewish city. Salonika used to be at that time, with the Jews in the city, we were about 72,000 Jewish people in Salonika, which is the population of Salonika at that time. It was about 700,000, so it's about 10% of the population of Salonika were Jewish. And really, they had the city almost, on our hands, like we said. But and that city used to be the most beautiful city. Even now, the Greek people, they said when the Jewish people were here, this city was the most beautiful city to live in. For now, it's not as lovely as it used to be.
Was your family involved in Jewish community life?
Yes, because we used to live in a very small, as a community, and all Jewish people all around. Nothing but Jews. In other words, it was like a ghetto, and but it was lovely. It was beautiful. Even though the Greeks, I speak the Greek language very, very well, but also. Like I'm Sephardic Jew, and our Jewish language is Spanish. See, we speak Spanish, and of course we spoke between ourselves in the Spanish language, and to me is a very, very lovely language. It's a beautiful language, and we used to have our songs and the things that we used to do. And now it's a beautiful culture, very, very nice. But everything now is all gone.
How would you describe relations between Jews and non-Jews in your city at that time?
That's funny. See, before the Germans were there, we still had some problems. It would all depend on the regime or whoever was in power of Greece at the time that the problems occurred against the Jews. Because I recall when I was a young kid, and all of a sudden they used to call it the 3E. It's in Greek, they used to call it Greeks Exterminate Jews. And they give us quite a problem. As I recall, my brother, they came over in the ghetto one time, and they were throwing stones and things towards our homes and everything else. But in the meantime, our boys, like my brothers, they were much older. I'm the youngest one of the family. I was a kid at that time. But I recall that my brother went out with some other friends of his, and he was strong. He was about 6'2", about 220 pounds. He was a big man, and he went and grabbed a couple of them and just hit their heads together. They fell down. The Greeks, so they were they went after them. That was for a while. And then things, they changed over again, like the Greek government, they changed and things, and used to get, a little bit better. And then the fascists took over Greece, like before the war. Now again, the Jews we didn't have so, they were followers of the German regime, the German, with Hitler almost, Metaxai was his name, and he formed the Greek, they call it like the young generation of Greece, and they used to salute like Hitler and things like that. And one time I was on my bicycle, and I remember seeing them. They were making some kind of a walking and thing, and I went through there, and I went with my hand like that. But in the meantime, they knew me that I'm Jewish, and they started chasing me, and I disappeared for the entire day. That day, I got so scared. So I took off.
Okay. Can you describe your experiences in school?
In school, again, I used to go to a Jewish school. So now my experience is the only thing I can say is that a few incidents on the way to school, but not at school, because of course we were all Jewish boys, and girls. But on the way over, we used to get throwing stones on us, things like that, because they're the Jewish boys, they're going to school. So that's why I remember these little things,
Did your family have any contact with friends or relatives in other parts of Europe?
No.
How old were you when the war broke out?
I was, with the Italians, I was 16 years old. It was in 1940.
Did your family have any knowledge of a possible German invasion of Greece before April 1941?
No.
Was there any Nazi influence or presence in your city before the invasion?
Like I said before, yes. Now even though it was a king, we used to have a king in Greece, but the prime minister, it was towards a power of Hitler at that time. And what happened was, he did say no to Italy when the war broke against Italy. But there was rumors at that time that before the Germans, Greece was, instead of Italy invade Greece, the Greek army was almost taking over Albania from Italy, which Italy occupied Albania, and this is where Italy was hitting, the war started against, the Italian troops that were coming from Albania. But instead of the Italian troops to come into, to occupy Greece, the Greek army was chasing, just getting, the best of the Italian army. And that's why Germany could not wait any longer in 1941 and then declare war against Yugoslavia at that time and Greece at the same time. So it took them no time at all, of course, to invade Yugoslavia. And then about 3 or 4 days later, they went through Salonika anyway and occupied the Macedonia, we call it, our part of Greece. The German troops that came over. But I did mention that one thing, that a day, it was Sunday, I remember, Sunday, we heard that the Prime Minister died all of a sudden. So rumors were that he did not want to declare war, or to fight against Germany. But evidently he didn't want to, but he just, I don't know if he died or he got killed. They just eliminated him, and of course, and then Germany declared war against Greece the very next day. So, and that's what happened.
How did the Italian invasion in 1940 affect your family?
Now, I didn't see the Italians at all, because the Italians did not invade. We didn't see them in Macedonia, in the part where I come from. Now, my wife, she's from Athens. Now, the Italians, they went and had the southern part of Greece, but not in the northern part, like where Macedonia, where I am from, and that's why when the Germans occupied, we had to do with the Germans all the time. We were occupied by the Germans all the time, and we went through that course, and then they went into the other part of Greece.
How did your family feel the effects of the German invasion?
How they felt?
How did they feel the effects? How did it affect them?
At that time, we were, see, the thing is, when you're in a war, and you're, of course, you're afraid of it, but the only thing what we kept us, my father, I remember saying that as soon as he heard that the Germans, even though they occupied Greece, but as soon as he heard that, now they declare war against Russia, and my father, I will never forget that, he said that they're going to lose the war. The Germans, they're going to lose the war. Sooner or later, they're going to lose the war. Now, he was not a communist, but common sense a little bit. I imagine that at that time, if he was going to declare war against, whole Europe and Russia, that he could not survive. That Germany could not go through that, so much power. And I believe that's why he said that, that's all. Again, through the German occupation that we lived through a couple of years in the city, it was just starvation.
Please describe what happened to you and your family in 1942 and 1943.
Now, the only thing I remember a lot of things, but like I said before, the starvation was the worst of everything I can think of, and I can still live and see it a lot of times one thing that then you become to survive, and nobody knows how he's going to react on a situation like that. And very, very few people. Only if you live through it, that's the only way to experience and to know. If you never did, so you can never realize that what human being can do when he starves. And that's all I can remember all through from 1941 up till 1943 when was taken, of course they start early with us in Salonika. Like I said, they knew it was a Jewish city, and they want to start it and just have it, done, so they could, the rest of the world can hear what the Germans could do. First, they put us in to construct roads for the Jewish people in Salonika. I got away because I was a shoemaker, and one of the big stores in Salonika that I worked for a little while, because my brother had a store, a very, very good lady shoes store in Salonika, one of the best. But they wanted men's shoes to be constructed, and that to make some men's shoes in that Jewish store, one of the main stores in Salonika. They gave them, I don't remember the number right now, it's either 10,000 pair of shoes that we were supposed to get for the Germans. And he said, well, if they don't want to go to work on construction, so you can take the names and let them work in here. They're shoemakers, they're good shoemakers. Let them come over here and work for and make these shoes for the Germans, and we'll take them off the. And I did. I got very lucky, and I worked. I didn't go to, and I worked for the Germans in the city for a while. So I didn't went through that experience to digging. That was, of course, so. The 1943 when they took us to before they took us to concentration camps.
That was my next question. You were in a concentration camp, and you described the situation that led to your being there.
So, just for the sake of it, I want you to. I'm going to try to describe first the way over there. Like I mentioned before, I used to live in like a Jewish community, and it wasn't too hard for the Germans to blockade where we lived. And of course we used to wear the Star of David, yellow Star of David, and our jacket. It was supposed to be visible all the time. And we couldn't go, of course, too far away from the ghetto also. And when the time came that they were evacuating, let's say, parts of the city, like the northern part of the city started first, and we used to go to the northeast the one place of Salonika, also a Jewish community. And they took that part first. And then when they evacuate that part that, they empty it, then they start taking transports from the rest of the cities, places. And they used to take us, take us to that place. And from there, you stay there for about 2 or 3 days, whatever you, and they will go to, they took us into a train and car boxes and the trains, and within 7 days, and we were in Poland, outside Auschwitz. Again, in there was the families, and prior to that, they took all the gold, the money, and whatever our belongings. They were stolen already. It's either mostly from Jews that they were collaborating with the Germans, I'm sorry to say.
What happened when you arrived at the camp?
It was nighttime, and finally they opened the doors, and we got off the trains, and they started yelling. The Germans, they started yelling some, God knows what it was, because they want us to quit to be like the boys from 16 or 17 and over on one side, girls on the other, mothers with children on the other side, separate. There was some kind of confusion all night long till they get things straightened out. And then somebody said that okay, so you have to walk, if I'm not mistaken, it was, they said 10 kilometers. If you cannot walk 10 kilometers, you better go down the other side. And we were 4 brothers, and here all of a sudden I see my father right next to me. And I don't know what made me say that, wait a minute, I want to save my father of walking 10 kilometers. And I told him, my father cannot walk. He's 55 years old. Meantime, a day before, how he shaved, I don't know, but he shaved and he was cleaned up, and he, even was in a boxcar. But he did. He shaved. He was. My father was always well dressed and well. He used to keep himself very, very nice all the time. And how he managed to do that, I still don't know. But he did shave. And he looked pretty good, and he was always good-looking man. And the Germans took him to stay with us. And I told him, I said, he's my father, he's too old. I made him understand that he's 55 years old, he cannot walk. Like saying, kill my father, don't worry about it. That's what happened to my father, because he was 55 years old, and he got sent to the gas chambers right away. The ones that didn't walk, they went with the trucks, and they went right to the gas chambers. Of course, we learned that afterwards. But the one thing still vivid in my mind, what happened that night, that a mother, they separate a mother from a child, and she's screaming, she's crying, screaming, and just running towards that truck that the little girl was in that truck, and she went over, and got killed. And thank God for that anyway. Yeah. But that was our first. We saw what is going to happen to us. And we knew that we were a concentration camp. And we found out later on that that was only the beginning.
Can you describe the camp and the daily routine? Could you describe the camp and the daily routine?
Now there were different to begin with when we first arrived in Auschwitz. That was the beginning. So we walked through a big gate, and I never forget that. It was up on it says Arbeit macht frei. That's the gate as soon as you go into the concentration camp. That's Auschwitz. They were big, like, barracks of, there used to be, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Polish, the army in there. That's why they looked like it. And of course it was surrounding with the wires, barbed wires, and there were electric, things. There were electric wires and things like that. And of course the post of the Germans, up on top. And we walked through there and into, like they call the showers. And we got stripped of our clothes completely. They took everything away from us. And they gave us the clothes with the stripes clothes of the prisoner. And they put us in line. And of course the brothers, we were 4 brothers together all the time. We used to go, together, staying together. And we got the numbers and in our arms, which it starts 115,164. That's this one here. Now 161, it was my older brother. 62 is my older brother, which is dead. 162 is my second brother, who's also dead. 163 is alive, is in Salamanca, and 64 is stroking. So we got the numbers, and we went back. They took us back to the barracks. It was like we would stay there for 30 days. It was quarantine they call it, whatever, quarantine for 30 days. After that, we got shipped with the trucks. We got taken with the trucks to Buna. It was another concentration camp. I do believe I don't think it was more than about 10 or 15 miles away from Auschwitz. It was close. I don't recall. Maybe it was a little bit more. I don't know. So that was a construction type of concentration camp. We were 4 brothers together, always together, and we started working. We used to go in line outside the gate, and and Una, I do believe it was 3, used to go out to work and to shovel some mud. That was the first kind of work. Shovel mud into little wagons with a train, like a train. And then they used to take these things and build some bricks or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was just, we shoveled mud all the time. Now you had to compete because the wagons were supposed to be filled at the same time, but there were some stronger ones. They used to fill the wagon a little bit earlier. Now you had to do it, a little bit faster also. We were the 4 brothers who were together working most of the times. One time, our wagon wasn't filled, and the German came over, and he started hitting my brother, my second one, my oldest one, the second one. He's up, and I don't know if anybody. Well, you have always one a little bit favored, and he was my favorite. And I was a little bit of the youngest one of the family and the most arrogant, I will say, because I saw that and I had my shovel in my hand and I turned around and I just lifted up the shovel and I was ready to kill the German, to split his head off with the shovel. And another Jewish boy that he knew us, we were all together, and he grabbed the shovel from my hands and he took me down. Luckily, the German didn't realize what happened. But even though after 3 years I came back to Salonika, rumors they spread around. Somebody asked, what happened to Aaron? Oh, Aaron got killed because he killed a German. They were just referring at that incident, which never did happen. But we stayed there in Pune, of the 4 brothers. I used to go at night. I used to go and steal food. There was a wagon that they used to take they used to empty the sewers and take us out of the concentration camp. But on the way back, they used to get from the little towns in there from in Poland. It's either bread or potatoes or things like food. And you should put it back inside that wagon and you should bring it back into the concentration camp. Now, they used to trade these things probably with some kind of shoes or clothing, whatever to the town. Now, how they do it, I don't know, because the only thing, my brother told me, he was sick. See, his feet was swelled up because he was wearing, my oldest son, and his feet couldn't take it, and it was swelled up, and he stayed in the hospital. That was like a hospital anyways. And at night he couldn't sleep. And he saw a couple of times at nighttime from his window that they used to go at nighttime and used to get some food out of the truck, the wooden wagon. and he told me about it. So, like I said before, I was the youngest one. I was the one that used to do all the monkey business. So, and I went over, sure enough, and I used to steal the potatoes and things. I used to put them in my and go back in the barrack. Now, and then the next day I used to go and my brother in the hospital and give him a little bit something to eat also. So we used to share, and I used to sing some once in a while, and I used to get some from the Germans. Also, we used to share the four brothers. Anyway, but one time I got caught on taking that food away from that wagon, and well, they just put me down and just gave me about 10 slashes with a big, like a what you call it, nice whip, right? Let's see, 10 or 15. Well, after the 5, you don't feel it anyway. You just you're numb. So, and that stopped that. No more of that. So, after 6 months in Bruna, then I got sick. I was very weak. And, well, what started was that I used to get some, I don't know how they call it, like pus and boils under my arm. I got one under my one arm. And I decided I'm going to go to the doctor and see what's it all about. A Polish doctor, so I went over and I told him that, I just showed him we didn't know the language. That was another thing which was very, very hard for the Sephardi Jews to go through. Because our language, it didn't help us at all. Because they spoke to us in German and we didn't know no German language at all. Our language is Spanish, we speak Spanish, and the Greek language. They used to tell us things and we couldn't understand. Even the Jewish people that they wanted to talk to us, we couldn't understand our Jewish people either. So anyway, I went to the doctor and I told him about the boil, and he says, "So raise your arm." And he got a razor, and he went like this, and he just cut it, and I just went down. I passed out. Well, about 3 or 4 weeks later, I got the other one, the other side. But this time, I just didn't bother to go to the doctor. Just, let it stay there. And, of course, we were working construction. Now we were building. And we were carrying, like, bricks. Not carrying, but throwing bricks to each other. So, like, the other guy was there like this, and he used to throw two bricks to me. And then there was another guy facing the other way, in front, and passing the bricks to each other. And of course, now every time you're catching the bricks, that thing's but all of a sudden, after 2 or 3 days, while I was working and catching bricks, that thing, it stopped, didn't hurt no more. And I will never forget that. There was a German with a motorcycle just passing through it, and all of a sudden he stopped and he came around he comes to me, he looks at me, he calls the cop, what they call it, the guy who's in charge, also a prisoner. He says, what's wrong with this guy? So he thought maybe I got hit or something, because what happened was that thing had broke through, and there was blood and things coming, just it was soaking wet with the blood. And I didn't realize, because, it was July, I believe. July, it was hot. And, well, it was very, very nice of him to tell him to let him stay for a couple hours to relax for 2 hours. So, and that one, but 2 months later, of course, I was getting weaker and weaker. And somehow I wind up in the hospital. My oldest brother that was there, he just wasn't there no more. Now, we didn't know what happened to him. He had left. And then my second brother, I lost him also, about 3 or 4 weeks before that. Now, see, what's happening is that, again, starvation starts taking over. And I went to the hospital, and here is the doctor he used to take care of my brother in Salonika, for he had a problem with his nose. It was a ear-nose doctor, and he knew my family. And he was a doctor in a concentration camp, and he also spoke German, the German language, I believe. And he told me that they're going to transfer me over to Auschwitz. And I said, no, I don't want to go to Auschwitz. He says, okay, why don't you tell the German doctor that you don't want to. So I learned the language a little bit, a few words in German, and I stood and I told him that I don't want to go to Auschwitz because I got my brothers in here. And he turned around and told him to keep me in Buda for a couple more weeks, and for the next time we'll see. Sure enough, about 2 weeks later, they decide, no, I have to go, and this time the doctor, the Greek doctor, come over, told me that don't argue the point because your brother is also going over in Auschwitz. So, and I got sent back to Auschwitz. Now, in Auschwitz, now we are the 3 brothers back in Auschwitz again, which I found, we got back together, the 3 brothers. My oldest brother, he got killed. He got sent to Bergenau, which is the gas chambers, and he got killed there. But at that time, I didn't know about it. None of the prisoners, like I said, we were very, very much concerned of our daily, the surviving the next day, than to think what happened or what's going to happen or where is that guy at, So, well, in Auschwitz, mentioned in the beginning, I worked with shoes. My brother had a shoe store in Salamanca. And I learned a few words the German language. And I was brave enough to stop the Arbeitsführer, they used to call Arbeitsführer in German. And I went to him and I told him that I'm a good shoemaker and I can work in shoe factory. He looked at me and he took my number. That night I went back to the barrack and they're calling my number. I also learned my number in Polish. It's 115 to 164. That's my number. I said, so I went over and I got transferred from the one barrack to another barrack, was at 14A, and that's where the shoemakers were, and they used to call it the Bekleidungswerkstatt. And now I'm working inside, and this is where I survived. And the Constitution came, and I started working inside. See, the thing is that you were working inside, and that was I survived.
Were there any attempts at resistance or escape? No, I say no, because, see, first to begin with, you were being informed. That's number one. And Polish, the language, number one. And we heard that later on that, and we used to get treated with some entertainment almost every other night. That people, they used to try to escape, and they used to put us in front of us, and they used to hang him. As soon as they get caught, it's a hanging time, okay? 2 or 3 at a time, and sometimes a dozen of them, it's here for one reason or another that they did, or they stole some things or whatever or they tried to escape. It's a hanging time, that was almost every other night, after the countdown, we used to go and they had to make us watch how they hang, taking place, this was almost the entertainment of almost every other night. Was there any special or unusual experience that you would like to discuss? Any special or unusual experience that took place that you would like to mention?
Unusual. Everything is unusual, and my God, how can you, if you start mentioning things, my mind is gonna, it's gonna just collapse. Like that happened before. And things I can say that I've seen, like 2 brothers just to survive. He just told the German, no, I didn't do it, my brother did. And my God, this just the things that you can say that a human being cannot, he's not supposed to do that you do for to survive. And later on, then I saw that there's from Hungarian people that came over at the end of 1944. And when I was watching them, we saw ourselves, we saw it, and you feel sorry for the human race.
well, we didn't have nothing to do with the Greeks anymore. That's it. We were way past that, you know. The Greek resistance, well, was I was aware of it while it was in Greece, that there were, the people that were growing up in the mountains and things. And as a matter of fact, I have, funny you mention it, that, there's another story on that I want to, I want to pinpoint what happened. My next door neighbor was an Israeli boy. It was he got caught. This guy was with the English army. He was from Israel. And the British sent him over in Greece to fight the Germans. And of course the Germans, they occupied Greece, and they got caught, and I was a prisoner of war. But he spoke the language, the Greek language, and he escaped. And his uncle was my next door neighbor. So he came over, and he stayed with his uncle. Now we became friends. Now, of course, he was about 5, 6 years older than I was at that time. I was always tall, and I appeared a little bit older than my age, and we were friends. Also, if I'm not mistaken, he was in love with my sister. Anyway, while that was taking place, that we were wearing, we used to wear the Jewish star and things, and that is Daniel Haver is his name. He told me that, look, we can take off. He was in contact with the British, with the, again with the British Army. They were trying to get him out of Greece to go. They used to take him with a little boat in one spot in Greece, and the British submarine used to come up, pick him up, and take him, or go from Turkey to the Middle East. There was a lot of ways of escaping from Greece now, and he was telling me that. And we had a rendezvous. He had a rendezvous with a few other guys to escape, get out of Greece. He said, "Are you coming?" I said, "Daniel, I'll let you know." He said, "Let me know tonight, because we're taking off in the morning, early." So I went over to my father, and I told him about it. And he said, "Son, if this is what you want to do, you go ahead. The only problem, the only thing what I can tell you is that you got my other brother that was not married, and my sister, and myself. We were in the house, and my mother and father. He was like with from the Albania, from the war with Italy. His feet were frozen, like a bit frostbitten, and he couldn't walk straight. So I had to, up till all that through the German occupation, I used to take care of my family, and I was the one who used to work and do things to feed the family. In other words, I was the provider, the only. and I was about 17 years old. So I says, we're only going to be in God's hands. So I realized that my father is telling me, look, if you want to just take off and, and let us, it's fine. It's up to you. And I decided not to. I went to Daniel that night and I told him, I said, well, I cannot go. I'm going to stay with my father. I got a sister to take care of, my mother to take care of it, and my brother. And he says, okay, good luck to you. And he left. I know he did. So, and he went back to Israel. And I know he's, well, I tried to locate him so many times. I went to Israel 3 times, and I tried to locate him, don't ask me why, and I wrote no luck. I couldn't locate him. I know it's Daniel Haver is his name, and they used to be from Haifa, Victoria? Yeah. Haifa. So if he ever sees anything or somebody knows about it, it'll be a help, to try to locate him back.
Did you receive any help whatsoever from non-Jews?
Like help on what?
Okay, for instance, while you were in the concentration camp.
Concentration camp? The only help that you get in concentration camp is the one you have to do it. Nobody helped nobody in concentration camp. Like I said before, most of the times, a brother will not help his own brother come to shore because it's a lie. The help, like I said before, the only one helped me was a German Arbeit. When I talked to him in German, I told him that I can make shoes, and he put me there that job, which and I survived. That was the only help.
Did you have any knowledge of Franco's offer to protect certain Sephardic Jews?
And not, well, I was, I heard that when we came back from concentration camp, after we got liberated, we came back to Salonika, I was liberated as a French citizen, yes. That's another thing. I was liberated in Dachau. And the French Red Cross, they were giving away food packages. And somebody came over and told me, and it didn't take long for me to become a French citizen, no time at all. I just told them that my name is Henri Laurent, and I spoke a little bit French, and I told them that I'm from Paris, and that was it. And I became a French citizen. And I did. I got the food package, which maybe it did save my life. We shared that with my brother. We got liberated with my brother together in Dachau. We shared that together. And when I got liberated, I got sent to, they took me to a hospital. And from that hospital, they took me to outside Paris, in another hospital there to recuperate. And then I asked them to send me back to Greece because I'm Greek. And what was the question?
Did you have any knowledge of Franco's offer to protect certain
when I came back to Greece, after we got liberated, we got back to Greece, and I seen some, as a matter of fact, old couple, and very surprised. This old couple that didn't survive. So how come? And Madame Donna was there, and she used to live with my brother because there's another thing. I didn't stay too long in Salonika, as a civilian, because I got drafted by the Greek in the Greek army, and I served the Greek army another 4 years, and up in the mountains fighting the guerrilla war. But when I used to come back to my brother and see my brother, it was that there were all a couple in there, and they told me that oh yeah, so they were they kept the Spanish citizen, and they were how do you call them? They're not citizen. They have to go once a year and be. Anyway, they kept their Spanish citizen, and sure enough, Franco did. They saved them. He saved them. They took them out of Greece, and they told me that they went to Barcelona or someplace in there. They stayed there for a couple of years, all through the war, and then they decided they came back to Greece again. You know, they were you know, they survived because they were Spanish citizens. Yes.
Did any members of your family or any relatives fight in the Greek army or in resistance units?
All three of my brothers, during the war, they were in the Greek army, and they fought against Italy. All through the war, they were against Italy, and of course, after the Germans, they declared war against Greece, and Greek, you know, Greece was occupied by the Germans. That was the end of that, you know. But they did serve, you know, of course, in the Greek army in the beginning, you know, when they were called for it. And then they served all through the war against Italy.
What were the first signs for you that the war might be coming to an end?
1945, January. Kadu, that's his name. This guy was a German killer, Jew killer. It was the rock cultist that they used to call him, whatever the commander. We used to run away from him. He was the guy who used to pass by him naked, and he used to decide if you would have been dead or alive the next day. That when we used to call it the all Jewish untreten, that we used to go through Kadu, this guy, and he was God. January 1945, he comes over in our block. It was late at night, and all of a sudden, he's telling us, he came over and they screamed right away to get off the bed, you know. But he was very, very calm and says, told us not to be alarmed, that he came over just to wish us a Happy New Year and a good reunion without families. Unheard of. That was the first sign that, well, something is happening. Something is going to happen. After, you know, that was the first sign. And then the wars had started coming after that for us. January 9th. 1945, January the 18th. Everybody, the whole concentration camp, they started evacuating. And taking us away from Auschwitz. And we start walking that night. They give us a whole loaf of bread. And cheese, if I'm not mistaken, it was, I don't remember. And they told us to take one blanket, roll it, and wear it on your neck, like, and we start walking. We walk all through the night, and that night, were 20,000 prisoners walking. And you could hear the shots and people getting killed right and left. People that couldn't walk. God. The twins are getting killed. There were a set of twins from Salamanca. There's the one brother that just fell on the... He fell, or he got pulled out from one German, an older man. God, I think this guy must have killed about maybe 1,000 in one night. He wouldn't stop. He just went crazy. He went crazy. He was pulling prisoners and put them down and shoot them. Right or left. He just went out of his mind. And he got the twin. He got the one, he pulled it out, and the other twin is screaming, yelling, he's just begging not to kill his brother. He won't listen. Bang, just kill him. Now the twins, the other twin is sitting right next to the, I'm watching. And the twin is right next to his brother, getting, big, and he's crying. That now this guy doesn't want to kill him. Get out, he tells him. And the other twin stays there, and finally he killed him too. And we walk and walk, and it started the daylight, and we got put into some kind of barns. Big. I mean, the best part about it is that I saw that in my dream 2 years before that happened. And I'm from a city. I never seen a barn in my life before. And I saw that barn in my dream 2 years before that happened. And I was dreaming that I was not born. And I was dreaming that the Germans, they came over and they went with a bayonet, and they were, just going through the hay, just getting all, to get everybody out of there. And in my dream, I saw that, that was happening, and then after the Germans, they left, I was in there, and then a little while later, that other soldiers come in, different people. They were red, dressed in red, like Russians. And all of a sudden, here's my mother. And then I see myself back with my mother, and my mother was saying, "Well, wait. What happened to you? We were waiting. You have to be, dinner time. Why are you so late for dinner?" And that was in the beginning when the Germans took me to concentration camp. This dream was in Buna. And 2 years later, I'm going through that. The same place. But the only difference is that I didn't stay there. I didn't hide. I just went back through a night, the second night, being back again, start walking. and we walked the second night. And again, the next before daytime, we went into a train station, and they put us in the car box, and we, I think for a day or two in the car box, I don't remember how, and we went in Germany. They took us in another concentration camp in Germany. It was Rose. And I seen signs in there, the Germans, they had that, stop, this is Germany. So in other words, they're gonna stop the Russians and the American troops right in Germany. And we walked, they took us to the concentration camp in Rose. It was cold. We stayed there, either 2 or 3 weeks, I believe it was. We didn't do nothing. Just stay there. Food was very, very limited. Like always. And then back again and to trains 2 weeks later. They took us to Buchenwald, another concentration camp inside Germany. A big concentration camp. Again, I didn't work there. There were like smaller barracks a little bit, on the inside of the Buchenwald, the concentration camp, separate from the main concentration camp. I stayed there for a couple of months. Not working. And then after that, again, into the boxcars again for another to a different camp. But this time it took 20 days inside the boxcars. From, I do believe it was about a transport of 5,000 prisoners. And my estimation was about 3,000 they died. Some of them they got killed because they 2 boxcars further than ours, they revolt and they all got killed. We heard the machine guns going for quite a while and then stopped. I used to be a volunteer to take care of dead people from the car, from the box where I was, to take them down to the dead, we used to carry the dead people, the car boxes, on the front. So I used to drag him. On the way back, I used to grab some grass just to eat for food. Also, my brother was with me. The one is alive. I came very, very close to drink my urine in that car box. Very close. Finally, after 20 or 21 days, I believe it was, they stopped and they got us out of the train. And the day before, it had rained and it was water on the street. And I don't have to tell you that everybody, the only thing that they did is just run, just right in front of our faces and can drink that water, the mud from the street. But in the meantime, the Germans, they were, in a hurry to evacuate and leave, and they start shooting us, to get up and start walking. And this is one thing, I say starvation. Well, worse starvation, a lot worse than starvation, is when you're thirsty. It's one thing, it's a human being, when you take it for granted, that I'll tell you one thing, that if you don't have no saliva, if you don't have saliva in your mouth, you cannot eat, because you cannot, that food is too dry, and you cannot swallow your food. You don't have saliva to lubricate it, to your food. And this is what happened to us. We went to concentration camp, and now they give us food, and we could not chew it. My gums, they were loose. I thought that my teeth were falling off. And I tried to chew the food. I'm so hungry, and I cannot chew it. I cannot swallow it. And this is when that French Red Cross saved me, because after that, when we drink water, they took us to the showers. The only thing what we wanted is just water. And we're drinking water, and this is what I heard somebody saying about the French Red Cross. And of course, I got the package right after a few hours after that, and we ate a little bit of that package, because a day, 2 days later, we got liberated by the American Army. And another mistake that the American Army did, that to feed the prisoners with such a rich food, so much food, and the dysentery started. And they were dying right and left. We were liberated. We were free. And here's a friend of mine. I'll never forget that, as long as I live. Here's the guy we went through together. He was a barber. And a redheaded guy. And we were talking. All of a sudden, now I'm talking to him, and he's laughing. But he's not responding. And I'm talking to him. And he's laughing. So stop laughing, and all of a sudden I realized, after a little while, that the guy's dead. And he's right next to me. And here, I'm going to tell you what I did. Do you believe it, that it was a friend, and now I'm still thinking survive, and I grabbed and I took his gold teeth. He's got gold teeth, and it's, and I grabbed him and I just pulled him off his mouth. I did. And of course, after a couple of days, I fell with a typhus fever. And a French doctor that he heard me singing in Auschwitz, he came over and said to me, "Aren't you the one we were liberated?" He says, "Aren't you the one who used to sing in Auschwitz?" I said, "Yes, but don't say anything." I said, "I'm French." "Oh, it's good. Que bien fait. Very good." So he examined me, he says, "You got fever. I'm taking you to the hospital." And he saved my life. He took me to the hospital in Dachau. And there was another French doctor in there, and Maxine told him that, take care of him. And he did. Because I woke up, God knows how many days later, with my typhus fever, and I
Let's begin part 2 of our interview with Mr. Aaron Monina. Mr. Monina, how did you find out about your family?
part of my family, we were together. So we were, like I said in the beginning, 4 brothers in the same concentration camp, right in the beginning. We started in Auschwitz, and from Auschwitz they transferred all 4 brothers. We were transferred to Buna. In Buna we stay in one, we were all 4 of us together, and we stayed there for about 6 months, and then we got separated from, then again we met back again in Auschwitz. So one at a time we but get transferred in Auschwitz, the original concentration camp that we got in right from the start. So first I believe it was my second of the oldest one, Isaac. He got transferred over. And then I don't remember if it was that me or the third one that he got transferred to Auschwitz, and finally the 3 of us, we got together in Auschwitz. Now, there, I did see my brother dead, my Isaac, the second oldest one. The way we were both in a hospital, and he was very, very weak, and I remember he asked me to sing him a song, which I couldn't. And then the next day, I went downstairs. I was in there were 3, the hospital barracks, and there were 2-story high. So I went downstairs. I was upstairs. I went downstairs the next day, and his bed was empty. And a Polish, it was not a doctor, it's just a helper, and they told me that my colleague, that's my friend, he didn't know that was my brother. My friend was dead, and he showed me under the steps. He was under this, they throw him under the steps. I went and I saw him. That's when I saw my brother dead. That was the one of them. The rest of them, I heard that we left my oldest one in Buna. So he was in a hospital at that time, and I heard that instead of sending him to Auschwitz, they sent him direct to Birkenau, to the gas chambers. And then, when in concentration camp, you could not, first of all, we were so hungry, and you were so, day by day you were living, that, not that you don't care about your family, but we didn't even know what was going on, what happened. And in the meantime, don't forget, I was about 17, 18 years old, and I don't remember that, of course, we were talking, where's my brother, or my sister? My sister must be in another concentration camp and getting killed like I am, day by day. It's either today or tomorrow you're gonna die, no matter what. And that's why it was a confusion that the rest of the family. Now, I wasn't married, but I understand my brother, there were, of course, many men that his wife and his children must have been very, very painful to, they didn't know what happened to his family, wife and children. The only thing well, of course, I had a nephew and two nieces. But like I said, every day the only thing when you think of it you were thinking is food. That's all. That's all I remember. After we got liberated, and I got liberated in Dachau. Again, I was very, very sick. And because I knew a doctor that he heard me singing in Auschwitz, he saved my life. I heard about my family after, believe it or not, after I came back in Greece. But after I got liberated, about 6 months or 10 months later, I went to the Jewish Center, and everybody, now we were there, and what happened to the rest of the family? I knew that there were crematoriums, there were gas chambers and things, but we heard the truth and what happened to the rest of the family when we came back, after we got liberated, believe it or not. Because I don't remember thinking about, or even, we were told, I mean, we were, we used to talk. We knew about, of course, about the crematoriums, the gas chambers and things. We used to see the lightning, of the bodies getting burned, believe me, from about 3 miles away. All right? And especially when the transports, they were heavy. Like I remember from Holland, when the Jews from Holland, they come over. I mean, this is when we knew that they kill them. They kill them every day, and as fast as possible. We even heard that they were they open up big pits, and throwing the bodies in there and light up, put some gasoline and light up match and just burn them right there because they didn't have no time, to get into the crematoriums. There were a lot of them, and they had to do something about it. But like I said, we were away a little bit from all that because we were in Auschwitz, not in Birkenau. Birkenau was about 3 miles away from but the main camp was Auschwitz. Birkenau was the execution camp. Auschwitz was the receptionist of the camps, all the rest of the surroundings. And I was one of the luckiest one, and I remained for quite a long time in Auschwitz. That's why I survived, because in Auschwitz they had some, like I said in the beginning, that I worked as a shoemaker, and this is how, I saved my life. Just to work inside, that's, you said you're safe right there. Just work inside. The food, number one thing was the food, of course, but number two, it was the kind of work you were doing and the conditions of the work. And of course it wasn't that bad, if you can say that working inside the factory. So then we came back, I came back to Greece, and I heard that the rest of the family, they were killed. You know, well, I saw my one brother dead, and then they told me that from Dachau, from Buna, they took my oldest brother to Bergenau in the gas chambers, and the rest of the family got killed as soon as we got there, in the beginning.
When did you come to the United States?
September 6, 1951.
Did you have to wait long to receive a permit?
Well, you had to prove to begin with that you were that you had something before, or business-like, or whatever and that you lost it, you know, during the German occupation, and of course, when I went back to Greece, they drafted me in the Greek army, and I served the Greek army for 4 years, fighting a guerrilla war. It's like a Vietnam War, you know, and the communists. And after the 4 years, then all of a sudden we heard that, well, the Jewish people, that they are not established, but, you know, that you had something before, and now you don't, you know, you have nothing left, okay? You can try to immigrate to United States. So, and I was, get married, we were married in January 1st, 1951, with my wife, and we were about 7, 8 months married. So I asked my wife if she wants to, because I did have a store, you know, making shoes in Greece, and but business was not much. Money, whatever I could scratch a little bit in the beginning, they were all gone after 4 years of the, you know, being in the Greek army, in the service. What they pay you in the Greek army, it was $1.50 a month for 18 months. Then after 18 months, they give you $2 a month. You know, they'll give you a raise. And that was where a lot of my money, but if whatever I had a little bit, you know, it went. And from the store, whatever I accomplished, within a little bit of time that I had when I first went to Greece and I got the store back, I was a civilian for less than about 6 months. And I got drafted in the Greek army. And whatever was left was a little bit in the store. I had to withdraw all the time. You know, every month they used to send me $10, $15, $20, you know, a month, just for cigarettes and things that you need. And by the time I got out of the Greek army, I was, you know, almost broke completely. And I got married, and I said, all right, let's get out of here. That's enough with Greece. And that's when we decided to come into this country.
Mr. Monina, what are your feelings today about how the Holocaust affected you?
My feelings, the only thing that I can say is I don't want nobody to have the life that I had, that I lived.
It's a terrible life. It's pain. And I'm sorry to say that I do feel that I still carry that thing with me. And even today, my family suffers from it. I mean it sincerely, honestly. That you try to give your family a laughter and thing, and don't ask me why. But when I laugh, the best moment of your life, all of a sudden something comes to you, and it'll take that little of laughter that you have, it goes away because you remember, oh my God, why couldn't my father live like this? Why couldn't my mother see like my wife is going with her grandchildren? How come my mother? Why? And that's when you start thinking about it. It comes back to you, and I am bitter about this, the whole world. I'm sorry. I am bitter about the whole world. And that's all I can say.
Other than for this interview, do you ever talk about your experiences during the Holocaust? And if so, with whom do you share these feelings?
Mostly with my family, not with strangers. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. The only thing is, sometimes I do tell my family these things, and because I feel sorry for them, and I want them to know that it's not my fault.
Can you describe your feelings then and now about being Jewish?
Well, that I can tell you in a few words what happened in my family. My oldest son, he is in love with a girl. She is Catholic. She's a beautiful girl. She's very, very nice. Very nice girl. And this is another reason why my oldest son is not near me right now. Because 5 years ago, it was New Year's Eve, they came over here and we sat in that sofa in there, and they told me that they're in love, and the only problem is that she's Catholic, and what's going to happen. I told Jean and my son the same time, that any other Jewish boy, it could very well marry to a Catholic girl and think nothing of it. But my son, being son of a Holocaust survivor, I told him, I said, Gary, look, it's your life. I don't want to hold you back, and I don't want you to tell me tomorrow that I was in love with that girl, but because she was not Jewish, I couldn't marry her, and now I marry another Jewish girl, and I'm not happy. But the only thing what I want
I want you to know that your grandfather, your grandmother, your cousins and your uncle and your aunts, they got killed because they're Jewish. Now, if you want to spit on them and you want to tell them, well, tough luck. They kill you, but now, you know, I'm turning Catholic myself. If that's what you want to do, God bless you. Now, any other Jewish boy won't have to go through that. Because they don't have no, they didn't kill their grandfather or grandmothers or whatever, you know. But your grandfather got killed for that. Now, what do you want to do? You want to just tell him that's, you know, this is what I want to do, and I want to just go and marry a Catholic girl and turn Catholic? Fine, you know. So, up till today, there's still, it's 5 years, they're off and on. He left to California, and about 3 months ago, again, she went over there to him. And he came back here again, and they spent a week or so together. And again, he's telling me, Dad, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So this is the way he, I am proud of my boys and my daughter. I think I did a good job on that. Even though because I'm Jewish, I got hurt, but I'm proud of it. That's all I can say.
Did your degree of religious observance change because of the Holocaust? Did you become more observant or less observant?
Yes, much less. Much less. That's another thing that, well, I don't want to go through saying what where was God when all that happened. And it stays with you. It does. And you say, if it's God, where was he? Why? Why let that happen? Innocent children. Okay, maybe my father did something, or maybe my mother was, whatever, or so many other millions of people. But children, what happened? How come? Where was God? Where was anybody to stop? Innocent children for 5 months, 3 months, 6 months, 10 years old, 14 years old, 10, 11 years old. They all got killed. And you do lose a lot. And I want my children, I want people to go and believe in God. But I lost an awful lot of faith. And maybe that's why I'm so bitter. And maybe that's why my life is, it's down. No matter what I accomplish, that thing that stays with me. That's why I feel sorry about my family.
Do you think that another Holocaust is possible?
Yes. Yes. Definite yes. Yeah. And that's what we should prevent and stop before it happens.
Is there anything else that we've left out, anything else that you would like to share that we have not touched upon?
You can spend hours, days, and still miss a lot of things. You can miss, we only talk for whatever happened within 5 years that we went through from occupation of the Germans and 2.5 years of concentration camp and all the within 2 hours. Now how can you get everything, it's impossible. So we left an awful lot, but the only thing what I want people to know is, like we said that before, it can happen again. Whatever happened to me, it can happen again, and God forbid, we better stop it.
Mr. Monina, how did you feel about answering these questions and about being taped?
In the beginning, I did not want to do it. It hurts. But just for the sake of our people and just to take a look at me and see that what happened to me, it's got to be eliminated. And I think that it's going to help. And that's why I'm doing it.
Okay. Mr. Monina, you have some important and treasured pieces of memorabilia that you would like to share with us.
Yeah, well, we have to go back. Like, how can we put that in? Like we can mention back again that if you left some things.
Something out,
yeah.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Is it on now?
Like we mentioned before, if we did left a few things that we were just talking with my wife, and she just reminded me that about her uncle, that his wife, she just had twins, and she had a little boy, 2 years old, and the twins about 2 months old. And the Germans, they took her and they killed her. They killed her and the twins and the boys and the little boy. And her uncle survived. And that was in Athens. The Athens things were a little bit different because there was the occupation was with the Italian troops in Athens in the beginning, and then after Italy pulled out from the Germans, and then the Germans occupied Athens, that part of Greece, and again they started taking the Jewish people out of there. But in the meantime, see, they knew that they should try to get away from it, not to get caught by the Germans. And her uncle, they had with a Greek name, a Christian name, and he just pretended that he's not Jewish. But they did got his wife, though, with the children. And so as my father-in-law, he wanted to be brave. And he said, nothing's going to happen to me. So he went over there, And of course, they got caught, and they sent him to Poland, and they put him to work in a Sonderkommando, we used to call it. That's in the crematoriums. And the people that they did saw him, they came back and told my mother-in-law after the liberation that her husband committed suicide because he saw his own sister dead from the gas chambers. And he was working as undercommando, so he was supposed to be the one to throw his sister into the crematorium. And after he saw his sister, he just threw himself into the fire, and he got, he committed suicide, killed himself. There's so many things, like we said before, and you can keep on saying things that it comes into your mind. Oh, remember that, what happened, this, what happened. It's going to take hours and hours and hours to keep on saying, what happened to us over that day and that, So now, a few things that you asked me to share. This is one of the best pictures of my life. This is when we first came in this country. This is my oldest son. He's 1 year old. We attend night school at 5th and Bainbridge in Philadelphia. And somebody mentioned we used to take him with us. We used to take Gary with us all the time to go to school. And we didn't have nobody that we could trust to babysit. And we didn't have no money we couldn't afford to hire people or a person. And we used to take him with us to go to school. And so this is Gary and my wife and I, and we're attending school that's in Philadelphia as 5th and Bainbridge. We used to go night school, and there's Gary in there celebrating 1 year old, and the bulletin people, they came over and took some pictures. They thought it's very, very interesting of a little boy, 1 year old, attending school. And we had a few pictures, and we got we were at the Sunday's Bulletin, an article about Gary Monina, 1 year old, attending night school, the youngest student. No wonder he's a good salesman right now. He started school very, very early. And there's another picture in here. From, and we have, again, we have the paper, the newspaper. I don't know where it's at right now. We were published, an article about us attending night school as soon as we came in this country. Yeah. Well, this is in the Greek army up in the mountains. There was this is a little doll that she got killed by the Germans because she was a Jewish girl. She got killed when she was 2 years old because she was Jewish. That was her crime. That was well. This is as soon as I got discharged from the army, from the Greek army, and that boy right next to me, believe it or not, we were together in Auschwitz, and he's been in a sanatorium. It was with TB when he got liberated from the from Dachau. We got liberated together, and him and my brother and a lot of other survivors. After they survived from concentration camp, they came out with tuberculosis, and he's been in a sanatorium in there. I went over to see them, and my brother is also there with them. These are the famous pictures from the passport just getting ready to come to the United States. We took the pictures in Greece and we were ready to come over in this country. That's just about it.
Mr. Monina, I understand that you have made numerous trips back to Greece since your liberation and since your arrival in the United States. What were your feelings upon returning to your native land?
Mixed. I love to go there. Of course, when you go, I pass by the store that I have, that used to be my brother's store to begin with. And then when I went back, so I took it and watch, just look at the places in there, and back with memories, good, bad memories, and that's why I said mixed feelings all the time every time we go there. But I still have some friends, Christian, that are Greek Orthodox, one that's a very, very dear friend of mine, and he'll do anything for me now, when we go there. It is beautiful. I love it. I like to go there, and like I said, but it hurts. Like when you go there and you see, oh my God, it's like I want to see, my mother coming out, and just call me once in a while, when you go there and you say, oh, there's my mother, she's gonna call me right now, and then you realize, well, this thing happened, but you still like to go to wherever you were born and you grew up there, you want to see it back again. But, well, most of the times what I try to do is go to Israel. And I spend 10 days in Israel and 10 days in Greece. And it's expensive. That's why you can't do it all the time. Just once in a while, every 4 or 5 years. Well, of course, I got my wife's family. The whole family's in Israel. She's got a mother and sisters and a brother in Israel. And we spend time there with them. And then I spend time with my brother, but he's still in Greece, in Salonika. And I go and visit them, every 4 or 5 years.
Could you tell us more about your feelings about Israel?
Israel. First of all, I don't know if sometimes I say, well, we said kapara. I don't know how to describe that word in English. That whatever happened, that 6 million Jews, they got killed for Israel to be born. You say it was worth it? I don't know, maybe it is. Even, it said it's 6 million people that got killed. But at least we got Israel. I'm very, very proud of it. Now, you got people that say, yeah, you're so proud, what the hell are you doing here then? Why don't you go there? And this is one thing that I can answer to in a lot of ways, that it takes Jewish in America for Israel to have Israel. And it takes Jews all over the world for Israel to exist. So I'm doing my part. And so is other Jewish all over the world. We are doing our part. And this is my answer to why I'm not in Israel. But I can assure anybody that if Israel needs me, of course I'm a little bit too old now, but how am I talking about? I'm a little bit too old, but I'll do my part anytime.
Mr. Monina, thank you so much. It has been a very rare and special opportunity speaking with you, and it has been certainly an honor and a privilege for me, and I want to thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you, Dan. Joe, next year, I'm buying.
Diet Pepsi, the one-calorie choice of a new